All right, welcome back to our second video. So we're looking at paraphrase. Paraphrase, of course, is rewriting the poem in your own words and explaining what's literally being said. I like to think about it more as summarizing the stanza. So it's really you pulling out what is this stanza telling me is the easiest way to think about paraphrasing. So there's a couple of questions to kind of frame your mindset before you do it. So what is the poet saying throughout the poem, and what is the poem mostly about from beginning to end? So see, this is a main idea question. What is it mostly about? So this is going to be a little bit more intensive in our video, so this one's going to be a little bit longer, but I'm going to show you all how I paraphrase. Okay, so I break it up by stanza. So in your TPCASTT document, you'll see these little pink boxes underneath each stanza. That's where you are welcome to paraphrase. And then, of course, there is a what is this poem mostly about question. That's where you just kind of put your big overarching main idea statement. So let them be as flowers, always watered, fed, guarded, admired, but harnessed to a pot of dirt. Okay, so I would say flowers are watered and cared for, but are stuck where they are planted. And that's my gist of what I think he's saying. So notice I didn't go into more about what the speaker is actually speaking about. I'm looking at just how he talks about the flowers. So obviously we have the them, whoever the them is. And I might make a little note about it. But honestly, for paraphrasing, you don't need it. So I'd rather be a tall, ugly weed hanging on the cliffs like an eagle, wind wavering above high, jagged rocks. So I would say he wants to be a weed weeds are clinging on the cliffs, are free from the pot of dirt, and so that's what I got from this. So he wants to be a weed. Weeds are free from the pot of dirt because obviously they're high on the cliffs and are left alone. That's what I got out of this. So this is me. I'm taking it a little bit more, and when you paraphrase, you're naturally adding a little bit more of your understanding to it each time. So that's what's cool, because you have to break down what you're seeing. To have broken through the surface of stone, to live, to feel exposed to the madness of the vast eternal sky, to be swayed to the breezes of the ancient sea, carrying my soul, my seed, beyond the mountains of time, into the abyss of the bizarre. So we're still talking about the weed. So the weed grows on the rocks, feels all the weather. That's what I'm getting from vast eternal sky. And the sweet there we go. So the weed grows on the rocks, feels all the weather, and is left to the mercy of the breeze and wherever the wind takes it. That's pretty much what I got from this. I just broke it down. So you notice how I took each thing. So to have broken the surface of the stone, it grows on the rocks. To live and feel the exposed madness of the vast eternal sky, feels all the weather. To be swayed by the eternal breezes of the sea, carrying my soul in sea, is left to the mercy of the breeze. And then, of course, beyond the mountains of time, or the abyss of the bizarre. So just wherever the wind takes it. So it's just kind of dealing with all the things. Okay, so I'd rather be unseen if been shunned by everyone than to be a pleasant smelling flower growing in clusters in the fertile valley where they are praised, handled, and plucked by greedy human hands. That's what I'm getting from this, and I'm chunking it real short on this one because he'd rather be left alone and not like have to deal with people. Okay, if we wanted to think about, because that's why I got greedy human hands. Be alone. Again, he just doesn't want to be with the other. He'd rather be alone and with the other flowers. There you go. And not like to have to deal with people. Okay, so this one, you can see I broke it down again. I'd rather be unseen and shunned by everyone. Rather be left alone than to be a pleasant smelling flower. So not be with the other flowers, but then be like the other flowers. All right. And then where they are praised, handled, and plucked by greedy human hands. So then it would say he would rather be left alone than be like other flowers and not have to deal with people who pick or care for the flowers. So again, you see you broke down each little piece. I kind of thought about it and summarized it. So the last part, I'd rather be a smell of musty green stench than the sweet fragrant lilac. If I could stand alone, strong and free, I'd rather be a tall, ugly weed. So he would rather be smelly than fragrant. If that means he can be free. See? So that's all you had to do. So kind of sum it up because this is a long one. For each stanza, take it and be like, okay, what's happening in this stanza? And then write it in your own words. That's really all you have to do. Think about each one as a little summary. I suggest for longer stanzas that you kind of chunk it into each little piece that makes sense to you in your head, like sentence parts. And then just write down exactly what's happening in your own words. So what is this poem mostly about? How weeds are free and flowers have to deal with people and each other. Boom.